You know, growing up, I didn't want to be like anyone around me. Not because they were bad people, but because I just saw a different life for myself. I wanted something bigger, I wanted something better. And I think if I didn't dream, if I didn't have that vision of a different future, I would have gone crazy, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was thinking about this today and I'm like, I would have gone crazy. I was kind of already going crazy. I have a soft spot in my heart for dreamers because dreaming kept me alive. Like, like it kept, dreaming saved my life, man. Dreaming kept me sane. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me going when everything around me was telling me to give up. And I think a lot of people stop dreaming when they become adults, like it's childish or something, like it's not realistic. And it hurts my heart when people just give up on their dreams. Listen, man, life is hard, right? I think we can all agree on that. Life is genuinely hard. And if you don't have something that you're working towards, something that you're hoping for, or anything that makes you feel like it's gonna get better, dude, you're just surviving out here. You're not really living. And let me tell you something about surviving, dude. Surviving is exhausting. And I know because I felt like this growing up, man. I would just look around and think to myself, dude, if this is all there is, I don't want it. I do not, I do not want, and I know it sounds so bad, but dude, I can't change the way I felt. So I dreamed every night. Every night on the bottom bunk of my little red, I had a little red bunk bed. I would just lay there and just imagine me living this great life in California. And this was before I knew anything about visualizing, and I just knew that I didn't want my current reality. I was like, man, I gotta put myself somewhere else in my head right now. Dang, you know what's crazy now that I think about it? I'm currently living out little Steve's dream of living in California. I never thought about it like that. Man, little Steve would be so proud of me right now. Good job, bro. We made it to Cali. We didn't give up. And the reason I've always gravitated towards California is because of the weather. Growing up in deep South Louisiana, man, it just seems like it was raining all the time, and I hated the rain. I still hate the rain, to be honest with you. But it was just hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. We got to evacuate. We don't know if we're coming home to a house. It was just too much, man. So I knew growing up it barely rained in California, and that's why I needed to go there. That was literally the only reason I was like, man, I need to go to California because over there, there's a bunch of models and the weather is beautiful and it never rains. So I dreamed it and then I real lifed it. Hey, come on, somebody. And if you haven't caught the gist, this episode is about dreams and why you should continue dreaming, even when you're an adult. And now that we're talking about dreams, I'm starting to realize how miserable I was as a kid. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I hope my mom doesn't see this episode. You know how miserable you have to be to constantly stay in imagination land because it's better than your reality? Let me just paint you a picture real quick. Let me show you why I was so miserable. I just remember we were so broke all of the time. Like we lived in some of the raggediest mobile homes ever. Like if I showed you a picture of a mobile home, like a trailer that we lived in growing up, you would be like, "No, there's no way. That's uninhabitable. There's no way you lived in there." I'm talking half of the plumbing didn't work in there. No heater, freaking holes in the floor, roaches, freaking mice. Dude, we had mouse traps going off all throughout the night. Clack, 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 clack. Oh, we got another one. Clack, clack. Oh, there's two more. Clack, clack, clack. And that was just one of the trailers that we lived in. We lived in a few raggedy trailers, y'all. That was just one. But my mom eventually ended up buying a house and we got the heck up out of there. But you see why I had to dream. And now you see why I'm so big on dreams because dude, I really feel like dreaming saved my life. I literally had to dream to not go crazy because my reality was not it. I was always telling my mom, I can't wait to grow up. I was that kid. Mom, I cannot wait to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. And it probably hurt her feelings that I was so ready to like be done with being a kid, but I knew she was doing her best, but I just couldn't help the way I felt. I wanted to hurry up and grow up so I can go live these dreams that I was dreaming in my head every day. When everything felt heavy, I had that. When I felt like nothing made sense, I had my dreams. You need something to hold on to, something that reminds you that this is not forever. It gets better. And the best part about dreams that I found is dreaming doesn't just keep you hopeful, it keeps you focused. When I was a teenager, a lot of people around me were getting into some stuff that, they shouldn't have been getting into, some bad stuff. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging nobody. I get it. When you grow up in a freaking small rural area, you get bored. So you have to find some entertainment somewhere. You have to start doing something to entertain yourself. But I had a dream. I had dreams, plural, and I knew that if I got caught up in that stuff, my dreams was over. So I didn't, not because I was better than anyone, like I said, but because I knew I had something to lose. And people would say, "Oh man, you scared? You a scared?" I got called a scaredy cat a lot. You a scaredy cat, man? Come on, man, dude. Nah, I just knew in the back of my mind, dude. My dreams are my future. Okay, my dreams were everything to me, and they still are. Honestly, I put my dreams above everything. And I was not about to fumble it for some temporary freaking relief. You know what I mean? Or money. I wasn't living for the day like most of my teenage friends was. I wasn't living for the weekend. I was living for the person I was becoming. Future Steve basically, and future Steve needed me to make better choices. And I always thought like that growing up. So what happens is we grow up, we become adults, we get responsibilities, bills, jobs, families, and somewhere along the way, man, we just stop dreaming. People tell themselves that, that's kid stuff. I got to be more realistic now. And yeah, I'm not saying you don't, I'm not saying don't be realistic. You do have to be realistic with some things. Okay, you can't just sit on your couch and expect your dreams to just, come true out of thin air. That's not how that works. But there's a difference between being realistic and being settled. Realistic is like, this is where I am right now, but I'm building towards better. Settled is like, this is where I am, and this is probably as good as it gets. You see the difference? One still believes that change is coming, the other one just stop expecting it. People stop dreaming because it feels dangerous. You know what I mean? They think to themselves, man, what if I dream and it doesn't happen? They don't want to feel that disappointment, so they just stop imagining a better life. They stop believing that things can change. That's a dangerous spot to be in. That's when you start just going through the motions. You wake up, you go to work, you go to sleep, repeat. Wake up, go to work, go to sleep, repeat. No vision, no excitement, shoot, no hope. And I don't want to live like that. I don't think anyone should live like that. I refuse to live like that. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it is okay to have dreams as an adult. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know exactly how it's going to happen. You just have to believe it can happen. That belief is what's going to keep you moving forward. That's what gives you the energy when you're tired. That's what makes you take risk whenever it would be easier to stay comfortable. Dreaming is not childish. It's your spirit talking to you. It's almost like dreaming whispers what the struggle tries to make you forget. This is just a chapter, man. It's not the end of the book, okay? It's not the end of your story. And yes, of course, your dreams can change as you get older. What you wanted at 20 might not be the same thing that you want at 30. And that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But you need something. You need some vision of your life that excites you, a goal that pulls you forward. Because if you don't have that, you're just out here drifting. And once you start drifting through life, let me tell you something. Once you start drifting, that's how you end up somewhere that you never even wanted to be. Sometimes life is so heavy that the only thing keeping you sane is the dream of something better. Like me when I was a kid. Man, sometimes reality is just so overwhelming, man. You gotta escape it in your head just to breathe, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. People will try to tell you, oh, that's escapism. That's not dealing with reality. Man, listen, dude. Sometimes you need to escape. Okay, just for a minute, just to remind yourself why you fighting. Okay, why you even going through what you going through. What happens is if you stay in that heaviness 24/7, you going to end up breaking. You're going to break. You need moments where you imagine the life that you're working towards, where you feel what it's going to feel like when you finally make it. That's not delusion, that's just hope. And hope is what keeps you alive. You never heard the term keep hope alive? It's a reason they say that. If you stop dreaming because you thought you had to be realistic, I'm going to tell you right now, start again. Okay, dream, imagine, hope. Not because it's guaranteed that it will happen, but because you need it to keep going. That's how you survive the hard days and create better ones. Anyway, y'all, obviously dreaming was heavy on my mind today and I wanted to share that with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you like this episode, send it to your friend. If you hated this episode, send it to an enemy. But regardless, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And thank you for hearing me out. Peace.